Hey guys, it's Doug the Retirement Guy. We got another great video out there, but first we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for hitting that subscribe button and joining our club. We're really appreciate all the viewers that we've gained in the past 30 days. If you want to go one step above, this video is brought to you by each and every one of our Patreon supporters. If you want to become a supporter, go down in the description, click that support button. It's free. There's a lot of information on there. Or you can make a small donation, or you can actually join one of the elite clubs that's part of it. Let's get into today's video. Weekly paying dividends, guys, we are up to 30 different funds already. It's like there's a new one coming out every single week. So we have bought them all, and we're going to show you how we've done and where we're going from there. So the new fund this week is really an old fund that was switched over to a weekly payer. And this comes out of Roundhill, and it's the HEAP either covered call strategy. We will basically be opening up $1,000 into that fund, which will give us a total of $30,000 invested into it. We're probably going to have to make some changes here because we're getting so many funds put together. We may have to break each one out independently as of Roundhill and Yieldmax and everyone else. But basically, every one of these funds is paying a weekly dividend. As you know, you can take your regular cash flow out, pay your bills, or you can reinvest it for future, as they call the drip. You can put that in there. The big thing we're seeing with all of these funds now is that they're starting to change when they pay. And if you didn't catch our last video, is you can actually set up to where you get paid daily now, especially out of Roundhill. And we'll spend a little more time on that in another video, showing you how you can mix and match funds to get basically daily paid ETF. So the new fund, to be quite frank with you, is in my gut says it's nothing spectacular. I can see why they changed it to a weekly pay, hoping to get even more attention and get a little more excitement out of it. But this one here is, again, it's not investing directly into either. It's basically doing a synthetic type cover call type program. It was launched in September of 24, so we're shy of a year. But you look at the performance of it, it's down 6.43% 1 month, down 56% in 6 months. Year to date, it's down 54, and 1 year so far out 52.13. The distribution rate, of course, 66.28%, a 30-day SEC yield of 2.38. But when you look at the chart, you can see it fell since, and I can see the marking right on there is April. The April 2nd tariffs, it dropped, it recovered, and then it never went above that. It has been flat ever since. So if you can tell by my voice, I'm not excited about this one. I'm not really motivated to get involved into this one. But as I said, we will do this. We will add this to our portfolio and keep a look at it. And maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe we found the bottom and it's going to start climbing, but we'll go from there. So let's get into the deeper details of what happened this week. So 2 weeks into it, Granite shares honestly have had a bad week. They've struggled this week. You can see YSPY is the leading fund in their category. Every one of theirs are down. We're still up 1/4% in SPY. Everything else, we are actually out of the money. We have lost money in each and one of these shares. So the second one that we throw out there is TSYY. It's down 10.27%. But again, I'm going to tell you guys, my gut and everything I'm reading tells me that this is a fund. It's going to take off. It's going to go crazy here. And I won't say soon. It's, we're not going to be the floating on a boat. But the fund, I believe, at $10.49, it's got to be a buy, because down the road it's going to get your money back. But the other thing is, we'll show you on the next screen, that is a huge dividend paying fund. So even if we get in at 10.49, the dividends that'll pay out of it are going to be huge. So the rest of them, nothing really spectacular. They're just down this week. You can look at it at the bottom two have been down the past few weeks. So we're just going to keep watching. We get to that 6 to 8 week mark, and then we'll really see where we're sitting at. But I would highly suggest you keep an eye on TSYY. That's the Tesla package from them. All right, let's look at the dividends that we've gotten out of this. Right off the bat, I show you the TSYY is paying 29.8 cents per share. We have collected already 7.75% or $77 off of that fund in just 2 weeks. It just continues to pay and pay. And like I said, for a $10 investment, you can get a lot of shares. So that's the big package with this one. The two down below, the NVYY and the XBTY, both of them are paying a nice 60 cents dividend. You can see that they're up to that 6%. So Granite shares is paying some big dividends, but we don't have the growth onto it. We're in a negative point with the growth. And so, it's not what we want. We want growth, but we want these big dividends at the same time. And I want my cake and I want to eat it too. So let's take a look at the thing here is we've collected this week $93.47 worth of dividends. That is up over $10 over last week. So very huge. We've gained $271 total in over 2 weeks. The fund's paying out about 1.04% for a week for a total that you would see a 54% over the year. That's a computer calculated number, but Granite shares again are paying high dividends. So if you're looking for high dividends with a little bit of NAV erosion, this is where I would seriously be looking at Granite shares. So let's get into Defiance. Now Defiance we've had for a total of 8 weeks. So this is really where we get some good hardcore evaluation, in my opinion, is what has it done over the past 2 months and where is it sitting at? And the winner is going to be QQQY at 6.06. Now it is down this week a little bit, but it is still up there at 6% natural growth. So I like this fund very much, giving us that number. Now, MST, I will say this one that has the asterisk of everything is MST has only been out there into this fund for 2 weeks. They've been paying I believe it's still 2 weeks. It's been out there paying its dividend. It's down 4.56, so it's continuously down again. And I believe it's a point where if something MST, if you have extra cash, that could be a fund to buy into now that it's gotten down to a lower number. But across WTE is down again. It's slowly dropping as it rolls through. And then IWMY is back up 1.99%. So again, if you want growth, QQQY is where you want to be. I think if you got to play at MST, probably a serious number there at 1694. Pick some of that up and work off of that. But let's take a look at the dividends that we have. Again, the reporting is QQQY 6.06. But let's take a look at the dividends. And IWMY is still the winner at 8% gain in dividend payments, so $81 there. But look at the MST. MST is sitting there at 46.41 in only a couple of weeks. We've gotten 4% back. This is why I say that this may be a game play that you want to do, because I think you can get MST at a discount of under $17. You're collecting 27 cents per share this week. Will it be down next week? Possibly, but still overall you're collecting quite a bit of dividends over a short period of time. So they're paying, I don't think they're paying as well as Granite shares is, but they're definitely putting out some nice dividends. We collected $39.71 this week. It's down by $1. It's shocking. It went exactly $1. So we've gained $240.90 over those shares. It's paying a 0.99% for the week. and it's looking at computer-driven 51% dividend for a year. So Defiance, definitely, you got some nice growth, you got some nice paying dividends, and you have some opportunity. So Defiance is definitely, I definitely have enjoyed Defiance. I like watching what it's doing, and there's opportunities. So let's get into Roundhill. Everyone's probably have some of these and probably invested in certain things, but Roundhill, 8 weeks in, doing extremely well. COIW, um, as I've told you again and again and again, the Bitcoin, all the coin side of things is a roller coaster ride. And these guys have the biggest roller coaster I've seen yet. They are now up 40% in our portfolio. If you look at last week, it was 7%. It's now 40%. So there's a 33% gain this week alone just in that one stock ETF. I remember that from the week before that was saying that it dropped way off. We dropped a bunch, but it came right back. So this one is, I call the roller coaster of funds that you really have to pay attention to. PLTW is the next one running in line at 10.42%. But if you look at the returns across the board of all the Roundhills, they all have, other than YBTC, they all have a solid, strong dividend, or actual growth of the stock value. So when I hear people talking all the time about, NAV erosion, stay out of these, NAV erosion, it really comes into is, when are you buying these things? When are you investing into these things? And you need to know when it's a good time, bad time. You got to study, you got to do your homework to be able to invest. And this is what we're showing you here is we did our homework when we bought everything on April 25th, and we are now 8 weeks in and have a nice, decent growth. The Apple play, again, it's up this week. Congratulations, yeehaw, blow the buzzer, but still down 10.7%. So overall, I love the Roundhill investments. It's one of those things you can, if you bought on the averages, you do pretty well. PLTW is down this week. I still wouldn't be in someone saying, hey, buy into this one. It's down, but not enough. But keep looking and evaluating if long term where we're at. The beginners of these things, the QDT, the XDT, and the RDTE, again, you look at these things, they're up respectable 5 to 6%. So if you buy those right, they're right where you want them to be. Now our fund so far, look at this one, 6.26% growth that we've actually had over the 8 weeks. So we're very pleased right now with a nice 6% positive growth in a fund. You take away the YBTC, the Apple play at the AAPW, you take those out, our numbers would be definitely higher. I would also throw the opposite out. The COIW, a 40% growth there is making a big change in our growth number. But overall, I've done some different math to it. I'm very comfortable saying that we're about a 4.5% to 5% natural growth in only 8 weeks with those funds being out. So let's take a look at the dividends. This is something that happened this week, and I'm going all the way across the board. You'll hear me say this, but Tesla stock, every one of the funds, they were able to capture a lot of dividends from Tesla stocks, and TSLW is the number one from Roundhill, paying 56 cents this week. I hope a lot of you have that. I hope a lot of you jumped onto it. Even if you bought it before the X date, you still get that nice little percentage there. But that's our number one dividend paying fund, is the Tesla. And that is 11% return so far in just 8 weeks. Coin has done well and has been there, but again, it's only 10.84%. So I'll take Tesla that is down, probably buy a cheaper rate, but to get some nice dividends out of it. The other one that this week paid very, very well was a PLTW, and that one there is 69 cent pay and we're at 7%. So across the board, we have about a 6.14% gain so far in all of our dividends from Roundhill. So this thing was really, we got $86.07 this week. We're up $20.97 from last week. So huge payoff this week, growth. And I think last week I was complaining that it was down. This week made up for it, and we got some nice dividends out of it. So we've totally collected $613, like I said, 6% so far in 8 weeks. This week they paid a 0.75, which you can see across everyone's is low. We would like to see that more closer to that 0.99 or 1% per week. And the computer spits out, says you're looking at a 38.94% total dividend payout, 52 weeks out. I just give you some running totals with that, but 6% in 8 weeks, I think we're doing fairly well with the Roundhill package. So we get into Yieldmax, 8 weeks into this one, another great runner, great performer. GPTY still, it's like week in, week out. That is our number one fund. That one is just cranking 18.66 of natural growth. The CHPY is up 9.62%. That is their chip program. Then we go down to YMAG. Now, I know this is going to throw a lot of people off, but look at YMAG is now finally below its natural value. That was $1,000 that we invested into it. It's down 4.11%. It's the Magnificent Seven are not pulling all their weight equally. I think Tesla's hurting that one fairly strongly. But like I always look at this stuff, opportunity knocks when you're seeing things continuously down. That means things are going on sale. Not just because it's down do you buy, but what I'm stating to it is you got to now research it. Take a look at YMAX. What are they doing? What's their natural bottom? What's their natural high? What are they doing week in, week out? And is it a buy point, or is it just struggling? It is always ask the question, is it a physical thing? We have a major problem, or is it a business thing? And I think once you look at it, you'll see that Tesla is causing the Mag 7 to hold themselves back. The other notes that we put on there, you look at it, QDTY is up 7%, even though it's down slightly this week from last week. And the other one that I know a lot of people own, and we've talked about, is YMAX. And YMAX actually is up. And I'm going to tell you that we've talked about this before, but we think that YMAX has found its natural base. It's found its natural area. We're not looking for big growth from it, but what we're looking for is big returns. So if you're in that 1330 to 1375, we'll get to that later, but really 1375, I believe the number comes into, is that you're playing right into the game and you can collect all the dividends and not worry about NAV erosion. So very strong there. So this whole fund, we are up 4.47%, even with I call them three losers, 3 in negative numbers, and no real huge ones other than GPTY. So it's more of a natural, what I call natural growth, natural package of Yieldmax has given us a 4% growth in 8 weeks. And then we'll take a look at what we're getting from dividends. So when you see his stuff all over the internet saying NAV erosion, you have to really ask the people, when did they bought it and did they sell it? That's when you lose your NAV erosion. But where are you at? Because right now, for 8 straight weeks, we're in the positive. I'm happy with the daily, with these weekly paying funds. So Yieldmax 8 weeks in, ULTY keeps cranking out, even though it's only 8 cents. It has still made 13% dividend payments in 8 weeks. The number one thing I came back to you and said, YMAG, terrible. We're losing money up front, but we're gaining 7.6% in that same period with YMAG on the dividends. When we look at the rest of them, we're all dialed into that 4 to 6% dividend payout. So far we've collected 7.13% in total dividends from a fund and gained 4% on the other side. So you can't really beat Yieldmax right now with what's coming in. So $83.38, we were definitely down this week. We've collected, as I told you, $641 in funds so far. It's a 0.93% week, so about average right there. And they're telling us, the computer's spitting out to us saying they're forecasting a 48.18% total return for the year out of all these funds. So we could, as I've always said, we could always cherry pick. We could pick certain funds, put it into a portfolio, and see what goes well back and forth. It's an idea that we can add to this. But overall, I'm very, very pleased this week. I'm very pleased with what we've gotten, and we've gotten nice growth, we've gotten nice dividends, and we're moving forward. So let's take a look at the June 20th, 8 weeks in report. Our stock value is at $30,022. We're up $1,022 or 3.5%. Our dividend income was $302 this week. That's up $26 from last week. We were able to collect 1.04% for the week. The computer spits out $11,488 for the year, or a 40% total dividend report. And I believe, I don't have it on here, but I believe we're at almost $1,800 of dividends that we have collected over the 8 weeks so far. So $1,000 in stock value, $1,800 in dividends, $2,800 total off of a $29,000 total investment so far. Quite pleasing with what the numbers that we're getting from it. So it tells you that the weeklies are actually a strong package, and that you can be a part of it and enjoy getting some nice dividends out of the whole package. So the top picks for the week, they're pretty much staying about what we expected, but a couple of things I want to highlight to you. Yieldmax still our number one pick. It is still within our target range. Like I said, it's 8 cents above last week's target pick. So I hope some of you picked up on it. I hope you bought some stock. I know in another portfolio I did. We picked up some of the Yieldmax and playing off of it. So as long as we stay within that 13 and 13.45 range, I think you guys are 100% safe in being involved into that one. Our second one, again, this one, I know it's continuously dropping. We had to reset the price target that we originally did, but I really put this one out there, is the 35.78 is still, I believe, is a price point, but with the D at the end, I'm saying it's a dividend driven stock. This one here, you're probably going to see some NAV drop. You're going to see some value drop off. This thing will probably be dropping again, but you're picking up huge dividends. I personally like the second play, which would be the TSYY, much better, because it's a third of the price of what the TSLW is. And so you're going to be able to pick up a ton more stocks, and it actually has fallen below our target pricing. We were at 10.53, so I'm very pleased at 10.49 there. That will probably be the one I will be picking up this week. But the huge dividends that it's paid out this past week, and we expect the volatility of Tesla as a whole should be paying out some bigger dividends for the next few weeks. NVYY. Another play here, real close to our target range that we have, but a huge dividend payer. Now this one here, I still will tell you guys, I put it on the chart, but I'm not a big roller coaster fan, especially when I'm in financing. I'm not a big fan of COIW. It is too much volatility for me personally. It goes up, it goes down. You see our target range of 35 to 36, and it's $11 over what we originally had. But the dividends continue to pay off very, very strongly with that one. As long as there's volatility, they're going to continue to have good payouts. It's in yellow because it's out of our range. But if someone wants to play on the roller coaster, I would not buy at 47.19. I would wait for the drop off, which will probably come, within the next 2 weeks, and get closer to our target range and jump into it on that one. Now this one here, I talked earlier about it, and I put it is number 6 on our list, but YMAG, I put this more into the Tesla market. I think if Tesla straightens out, if Tesla changes, this one's coming right back up, probably closer to a $17 price point. But it is right inside our target range. Went green. Does have a nice dividend package that comes with it, and you're at the $14.95. I don't know. I want to say this thing is going to get to its bottom, but I think the top end of it is more closer to that $17 range. So I am more into this thing. There's going to be some potential upgrowth at $14.95 and some nice dividend adding into it. So that is kind of one of those saying I'm putting that into the gameplay for the week, as probably my third pick. Maybe I'll call it the fourth pick, because I still love my YMAX, and I think Tesla TSYY is a great choice, and then YMAG. And our seventh one that we still onto it is because it's in our target range is QDTE. It fell a little bit or it went up this week, but it's still within our pick range of 32 to 34. Very strong piece there out of Roundhill. Guys, it's Doug the Retirement Guy. I hope you're liking this thing. I know I'm watching you guys, watching these channels, watching everything. We appreciate everything that you've done for us. Give us a like button if you like what we're giving you. If you haven't joined already, hit that subscribe button. Every week we get this video put out, and then we got 9 different other videos that go out along with it. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe. We're looking for as many join as we can. We're trying to hit that 10,000 mark. The other thing is, if you like what we're doing or you don't like what we're doing, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think about how we're doing things and where we're going. Everything helps the channel grow. And again, if you can help support the channel, go down in the description and hit that Patreon button. Guys, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week, and have a great week.